And
now I have a question for you.
well,
One of my favorite characters on Monty Python was Gumby.
Okay.
The Gumby. Is that a slang term for a worker that wears gum boots?
Gumby, that's a good question.
And what trade is that?
Of.
It's the handkerchief tied on, to keep the sweat out, probably, and the gum boots, and then the cardigan, like the cardigan sweater, and the white collar shirt or whatever, and the slacks. I mean, that's like.
You think, oh, we've got some people coming in. Let's have a look. Skip that. Oh, it's the 17 here. That's quite quick. Right. What I'll do is I'll introduce you, Shawn, and then let everyone know what we're going to do. So this, if you don't know Shawn Hawkins, then he, to me, is one of the most criminally underrated YouTubers at the minute. He seems to be making a lot of waves on the flat earth scene and getting under the skin of people like Daniel Pratt. And I've heard lots of people mention his name. So I think it's well worth, giving him a bit of airtime. So Shawn, thank you very, very much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So just while we're waiting for the chat to build up, we've got 22. I'm just going to shut these doors. We've got 22. Watch in a minute. So what time is it where you are? So it's about 4:20 here. What time is it where you are?
8:18 in the morning.
So early rise.
But it's the 26th, so it's really weird.
So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to have a little bit of a quiz. We're going to find out about you. We're going to chat about who you are, obviously, what you've been up to, what your interests are. We're going to have a little bit of a quiz, and you're going to be the first contestant to get on the Globe Head leaderboard. You're not going to be the first person that comes on the channel. We're going to have as many interviews as I can over the next few weeks. But it's like the Top Gear time challenge. You are the first person to take the quiz, and you are going to be top of the leaderboard today. We'll see if anyone can knock you off. Then,
so am I the Stig?
You are. You're the Stig. You're the one that's going to set the standard, set the bar. I know you've got a lot of things you want to talk about yourself. A really important GoFundMe campaign, which I'll pop the link for in the chat when we start talking about that. But yeah, let's just begin then, because when I started my channel, I was saying to you just off before that you were there from the very beginning, commenting on my videos. So how long before I was aware of all this flat earth stuff had you been in it, and what is your story? Fire away.
I've been in the flat earth thing for about a year. I've been on YouTube since like 2010, I think, or 2008 or something like that. I've just been around. I didn't really concentrate on doing any videos myself until just recently. And then I saw someone, I can't remember which person it was, but they covered a I don't know his name, the Suck My Balls guy, that guy.
Oh, Delano TV.
Yeah, someone like reviewed a Delano TV, and I'm like, oh, this is just wrong. this something has to be done about this. So that's what got me started, and then I started watching stuff with Jeranism. I came across the Non Sequitur show, which is like raid to flat earthers, and I found your channel and everybody else, and yeah, that's where we are.
And now you've got did you have your channel before, or were you just commenting? Were you making videos before then?
I was making videos like of raccoons eating food off the porch and just stupid YouTube stuff. Never really got into being like a proactive, part of it until just recently.
Well, with that introduction done, before we get into the main thing, you've got 4 rounds you've got to face today. All right.
Okay.
Round number 1. I'll be marking as we go along, Shawn.
All right.
I'm going to name 2 objects. All right. It's an easy start for 10 this. I'm going to name 2 objects, and you just have to name the best one. Okay?
Okay.
All you've got to do. Treat it as like some kind of sight test. So, fish or chips?
Chips.
Black or white?
White.
Piano or guitar?
Guitar.
Mashed potato or aeroplanes?
Airplanes.
Interesting. Skirts or kilts?
Kilts.
Fish or zombies?
Zombies.
TV or radio?
What? TV or
TV
radio?
or radio? Yeah.
TV.
Okay. Nice or naughty?
Naughty.
To be or not to be?
Well, that's the question, right? To be.
What's your answer? To be.
Yeah.
And then last one. Flat Earth or globe?
Globe.
Shawn, you did really well. I can tell you that you got 8 out of 10 of those correct. So well done. Well
Okay.
done. That's a good solid start. Right. Oh, there we go. So, Shawn, you've the minute.
On the just on a side note.
Yeah.
On the TV or radio.
Yep.
Well, video killed the radio star. So yeah.
Oh, well, you got that one right. You definitely got
Okay.
that one right.
All right.
So before we talk about your GoFundMe campaign, I wouldn't mind asking you about how this whole thing with Daniel Pratt started, because I got into the I sort of followed the story after it had kicked off. I don't know what you did or what he did that started the sort of feud you've got. You happy to fill us in on what happened with that?
Yeah, I was like going around looking at different channels. I ran across a non sequitur, and I wanted to find someone who'd debate me. Steve said, drop me an email when you've got it, when you want to come on, and we'll set you up. So nobody debate me. Nobody. I guess I saw a couple of my videos and didn't want to, or they say, yeah, come on, we'll come on to my hangout. We'll have fun. Just me and a few of my buddies. And I know how that works out. I've been on Nathan Oakley's hangout a couple times.
Oh God, haven't we all? Yeah.
So I went on. I found Danny Pratt, and I said, "Hey, you want to debate? Go on non sequitur. We'll have a little conversation. We'll talk about how you can improve." Anyway, real cordial. And then he did a video of him sitting in the car, like screaming at the top of his lungs how everybody wants to be a master debater, and all this. That video is because of me, because just me saying I want to debate with you. And so that's when it started. I mean, if he would have just said, no, I don't want to, I would have dropped it. But yeah, he went off, and then he did a video, mentioned me in it. And so I did a video on him, and he threatened a copyright strike for using his video under fair use. And at the same time, used one of my videos in one of his videos. So he was like being really hypocritical. And that's when I'm like, dude, you're done. I mean, when you threaten me with a copyright strike while using one of my videos, and then just, yeah, you're done. And that he became my goal.
So was that before or after that he put the copyright strike in against Team Skeptic?
This was, I'm not sure when the thing with Team Skeptic happened. I think it happened just about the same time. I think he was just hitting everybody. And he threatened me with it, and I'm like, I just took the video down. Okay, fine. And then I did another video where I explained, yeah, this is why I'm redoing the video. And I explained copyright, the fair use. And I'm an ex-photographer. I worked in 1-hour photo labs for years. I was a trained Army photographer. I know copyright.
Right. So the Daniel Pratt thing, that seems to be settled down now, but you've got something new, which I know I definitely want to bring up for you. The GoFundMe we talked about before. Before we get on to that, are you ready for round 2?
Sure.
Right. So round 2, I'm going to give you 20 seconds, but I want you to name me, right, as many Star Wars characters as you can in that 20 seconds. And each correct one will be worth a point. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Han Solo, Chewie, Guido, Jar Jar Binks, Luke Skywalker, R2D2, C-3PO, Admiral Krang. Shit, no, that's not right. The fat guy that does this and blows up. Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine.
And stop. Right, not bad. 9 there. So well done, Shawn. So
What's the Emperor's? What's the dude's name that says it's a trap? What's that guy's name?
Admiral Akbar. Yeah, close. So I'm gonna post a link in the chat now, and yeah, I'm a moderator. I can do that, can't I? There we go. So I'll post a link. Just fire away. Tell us where it came from, what you're hoping to achieve.
What do you mean, my history or about
the whole GoFundMe? What you know? How did it come
about? Like I said, I was a trained photographer. Spent 6 years in the Army as a photographer, and have taken pictures about just about everything on the planet on the ground. Never had the chance to look up. Never really needed to. And then I just, through the flat Earth, just debunking them, I learned that a telescope is an invaluable tool, and it can tell. Looking up can tell us a lot about what we're standing on. And I recently bought a telescope. It's good for doing like planetary work and stuff, but it's not good for deep space. And that's what the GoFundMe is about, is to get a telescope that can do like deep space work, nebulous galaxies, stuff like that. And just to improve the content of the channel. So, and the goal, the bar is set by Wolfie 6020, by the way. He donated $100. So, cool. Yeah.
That guy, I've got a lot of time for Wolfie. He's, I met, I don't know if you're familiar with the Snark. Do you know the Snark?
Who's the Snark?
He's another YouTuber. He does songs, flat Earth, comedic songs. He wrote the outro song that I've got in my videos at the minute.
Okay.
He happened to be in England. I bumped into him arranged to meet him in Manchester yesterday, and we were talking about Wolfie. And like Wolfie's just such a down to everything he does is, it's just rock solid, common sense.
Oh yeah.
He's just all right now. He's down to earth guy, and he does give a lot back. The money he's given to you. I know he's given out prizes in the past and drones, and so I think the guy's, I've got a lot of time for that guy.
Well, he hadn't given out anything. He hadn't given out any drones or cameras yet, because the challenge is prove that an equatorial telescope can work on a flat Earth, and nobody's won those prizes yet.
Did you see Flat Out's video when he made the polystyrene flat Earth and set it on fire when he tried to win that challenge?
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
He's great,
absolutely hilarious. But like, you are right. This whole, of course, you can tell a lot from the Earth by looking at the sky. And when you see people like Dell, and I'm not having a go at Dell. I know I put him in the videos a lot, but it's all light-hearted stuff. But when I see him on, in the shed, just screaming and shouting, you can't. When anyone brings up anything about astronomy, that you can't see anything about the Earth by looking at the sky, it just makes you think, well, yeah, is there an earthquake there?
No, I just dropped something. Knocked this over.
Of course, of course you can. Of course, observing. And those observations you make with the telescopes, the observations you make of the sky tell you so much and allow you to make make predictions that will only work on a globe model, and so on and so on and so on. You know, but if you can just use a catch-all phrase like "looking at the sky is useless," then you can ignore all that big sea of evidence, you know, and sit in your shed and pretend the world's not a globe, can't you?
Don't pay any attention to the guy behind the curtain.
There's a guy behind the curtain.
No, don't pay attention. Never mind the guy behind the curtain. Just listen to what I'm telling you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking for someone else. I was looking for someone behind you. I thought you'd been invaded. Oh, bloody hell. So, so I think it's time for round 3.
I mean, it's just little things like just the star trails prove the globe. I mean, you will not see circular star trails on a flat Earth. Just the shape of them.
Exactly. And the angle that they move in the sky, as you traverse the globe, everything is predictable. I mean, how long did we use the stars to circumnavigate the globe? You know, how long did sailors use that as a method?
Right.
You know, it's crazy. I've not looked at the chat much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you round 3. There's only 4 rounds. I'm going to give you round 3, and then maybe we take some questions from the chat if you fancy that. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Right. So if there's if anybody's got any questions for Shawn, or any questions that you think we might be able to tackle, fire away. But for now, Shawn, out of 10, it's the rhyming round. I'm going to give you a word, and then you've got to give me a word that rhymes with it, but you've got to give it me in less than 3 seconds. Okay?
A word that rhymes. Okay.
Okay, but you've only got 3 seconds. Might be a bit difficult with the lag, but here we go. Orange.
Orange.
Okay, that's the same word. It's got to be one that rhymes with. It's got to be one that rhymes with it.
There's nothing in the rules that says that it has to be a different word. I've looked it up.
Right. You know what? Just having the ball there, I'm going to give you the mark. That's brilliant. Right. But different words from now on. Cat.
Bat.
Book.
All right, do I have to name a bunch of words?
No, just one. And if you get it in 3 seconds, get the mark.
Okay.
Book. We'll keep it clean.
Nook.
Venus.
Penis.
Hunt.
Bunt.
Regina.
Vagina.
Oh, filthy mind. I don't want to. Ship.
Bip.
House.
Mouse.
Ladder.
Batter.
And last one. Encyclopedia.
Brown.
Right. I'll give you 9 out of 10. Well done. Right. So, Shawn, only 1 round left.
All right.
You're kicking it. Let's see if there's any questions. Can you see the chat where you are? I've got my phone next to me.
Let me. Is this on Baldy or Conspiracy?
This is on Baldy. I'm going to give it a big shout out for. I didn't put it on Conspiracy because I've never done one before, and if we ended up getting porn or something, I didn't want to lose that channel. Fight the Flat Earth. Can I make you mod? Fight the Flat Earth. I'd love to make you a moderator.
There we go.
But I'm on my really old laptop, and I can't. I've got the chat on the phone, and I can't make anyone moderate on the phone. If I try and get it on the laptop, it will crash the stream. I'm on a really old laptop, so. But I will next time. Okay, so let's have a look. What questions? Right, Shawn, one for you. What is the answer to life, universe, and everything?
Was it 10?
Was it 10 or was it 43 or 41 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, it was a 2-digit number.
Yeah. So questions. Do ducks get cold feet in winter?
No. I don't think their circulation allows it. I think they're designed to not get cold.
Fight the Flat Earth wants to know where he lost his keys.
Look in the butter tray.
42, we're being told, was the word. Right. No more questions at the second. But if I'm struggling to see the chat well from where I am, but if you see any questions pop up in the chat, Shawn, just feel free, to address anybody who's. In fact, let's just give some shout outs and say hellos. Fight the Flat Earth, hello. Factard, hello. 790, hello. Mandelbrot, hello again. Second time today. Busted Shark, hello. Bullwinkle, Dan Palladino, Turquoise Laura, hello. How are you doing? Vital Spark, have I seen Vital? I think that's the first time I've seen Vital Spark. Do you know Vital Spark?
No, I've never watched Vital Spark.
But hello. Where's Wally? I cry when I wait. It's just one of the best names on YouTube. Bullwinkle, Cy Blacklock Hughes. Yeah, a lot of familiar names. S2000 GT. Chris Cadwell. Right, I feel like I'm doing the register at work. Doing the register at school for the kids. So
kind of like Romper Room. I don't know if they had Romper Room in the UK, but there was a part where the lady would say, "I see Johnny and Billy and Susie," and you like have a telescope, and he swore she was looking right at you.
So going a bit deeper, right? Flat Earth. Are there any flat earthers out there that you genuinely feel? Because for me, a lot of them are deliberately trolling. They're being deliberately dishonest. I really don't think there's that many out there that genuinely believe what they say. But are there any out there where you think this guy really believes it?
There's one, and I'm not really sure that he is smart enough to know. I mean, it's Danny Pratt's a Poe. Jeranism, it's just they're all in it for the money. But there's that one guy, somebody interviewed him, he has a beard and a little, rubber banded up.
Not in Rem.
Yeah, that guy.
In Rem, right? Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, in Rem, I think him. I think I think he's just about the only one. I mean, I don't think he's smart enough to know that Santa's not real.
But I agree, and I think there's a genuine link. And I don't mean to be disrespectful when I talk about the people like that, but In Rem is a prime example. You've only got to watch his videos to realize that he literally he doesn't know what he's talking about in any way. I did a video on him yesterday. Did one a couple of weeks ago, and everything that comes out of his mouth just doesn't make sense. And I can understand, and I think that's why it's important that we do what we do, because people like him, at some point in the past, somebody has said to them, the earth is flat because water's level. And because they can't think any deeper than 1 + 1 = 2, they've gone, right, fine, I accept it. You know, and that's taken over his life. You know, he put a video on his channel where he lost his job. I don't know if you saw it. He was working in a school and he lost his job because in the school, he went up to the receptionist at the school and went on a massive rant about why were the school teaching the kids that the earth wasn't flat, you know, and he lost, it cost him his job. I think he's back in work now, but, you know, it's really harmed him, really harmed his life.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody...
For the most part, flat earthers are retarded parrots mimicking a broken record of a stuttering moron. That's all they are. They're just regurgitating what they've heard because it sounds more plausible than reality. They have no cognitive abilities. They have no critical thinking skills. They didn't pay attention in school. And they failed themselves through the educational system, and they blame the education system for failing them. So they're on a campaign to prove that they're the smart ones after all, and everyone else was stupid because they failed him or them. And it's Dunning-Kruger gone amok is all it is.
Well, I think you're right. I think you know, when you talk about people who didn't do well in education and they end up believing that, when they believe in the flat earth, to them it's almost like, well, for once in their life they hold some kind of knowledge that academia doesn't. You know, the teachers didn't. They've got some kind of knowledge that makes them feel special, and then when it's backed up by, you know, feeling part of an enlightened group, with some people who do speak with confidence. You know, you look at people like Dell and Jeranism and you know, even Nathan Oakley. You know, they speak with a lot of confidence, even though everything they say is absolute bullshit. They speak with a lot of confidence, and it I think that only solidifies kind of like the little cultish attitude of it. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's not. It's the arrogance that gets me. And it's yeah, they have that secret knowledge. That's the one thing that they share. They have the knowledge that you could only get if you woke up.
Exactly. And everybody else is asleep. You know, everybody else in dream world, you know, they're the enlightened ones. Yep. But in a way, I'm almost jealous because, you know, how good would it be to genuinely believe that you lived in this magical land and all these secrets were still out there? Who built the dome? You know, what is at the end? It would be fantastical to really believe you lived in that world, and then all this conspiracy that's around you. You know, all this adventure that you've got in front of you. I can see why it's appealing for some, but yeah. You know, and if there was any shred of evidence for it, I'd believe it like that because it sounds great. But
oh yeah, me too.
You know, but there isn't.
Yeah, it's they don't. I feel sorry for them because they don't have much going for themselves, and that secret knowledge is all that keeps them from being normal. So they don't want to be normal. Normal is bad. I've lived in some pretty horrendous situations, and anything you can grasp to bring you out of a bad situation, you hold on to like a dog with a bone, and that's what they do. They have that secret knowledge and that wisdom, and that's what separates them from what they know that they are.
Yeah, exactly. So, if I was to ask you then, for your top 5 YouTube flat earthers, positive or negative, and the reasons why, who would make number 1?
Top YouTubers. Number 1 would be shoot, I can't remember his name. He runs a machinist channel. Does heavy machinery, or like lathes and mills and Ox Tools. He wrote a couple books about machining and kind of beginner's guides to machining. And I used to have a shop, and he became sort of my mentor. I think number 2 would be you. Just for the fact that I knew Ox Tools from way back, and he's had a little more influence over my life.
Oh, I'm gonna. That's really good. What about was the top 5 flat earthers?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, I wasn't fishing for compliments when I said that. Yeah, the top 5 flat earthers, and for what reasons, positive or negative?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Number 1 would have to be Delano, just for the fact that he's so ridiculous. I mean, he's like what I pop my cherry on. Second would have to be Daniel Pratt. Third would have to be QN Fee. He's my other fan. And then just the Mark Sargent, Jeranism, you know, that crew, the cult leaders. And then who would be number 5? I don't know. It's hard to pick. It really is. They're all my favorites.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a parent.
I'd have to say Ranty Flat Earth, definitely my number one. Just because the sheer volume of evidence he collects, that there's only one way you can look at that evidence and interpret it, and he literally interprets it in ways that no other human being possibly would. You know, the guy's a legend.
Yeah, he'd be my 5 then. Yeah, he's.
No, I do like him. So, are you ready for round 4?
I tell you, yeah, I forgot all about Flat Out Hero though.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Flat Out Hero, and then there's another guy. Never mind. I can't remember.
Flat Out Hero. You know, I know the guy's a bit out there, and I know he does some odd stuff. But
Block for Block. That was the other guy. Block for Block.
What happened to him?
I don't know. Either he died of the flu. I mean, he was having trouble with the flu. He was like cutting stuff short, and he was like having coughing fits or whatever. And I don't know. And he said he was working on a documentary. So either he went to work on his documentary or he died of the flu. Because he's disappeared. I hope he's okay. I really do.
Yeah,
but he's another guy that got me interested in Flat Earth. Is his just ignorance of space. He's the one that got me into astronomy, really. Because I mean, I wanted to basically prove him wrong, and I've got my equatorial right over there. So,
well, he was out there in all sort of aspects. I remember watching a stream of his once. I think I put it in one of my videos. He said he honestly believed that water was sentient. You know, like you know, at that point.
I miss him.
He's crazy. He had the worst channel though to go on. If you went on his channel, the people he had to moderate, like I think Andrew Calvert was one of them. If you made any comment that suggested you weren't a flat earther or you didn't believe with him, you were gone like that. Yeah, no tolerance.
Muted and booted.
That's it. Right, Shawn, round 4, the final round. Then maybe we'll take some questions from the chat.
Okay.
Right. Have you posted your channel link in the chat as well so people can subscribe?
No, I haven't. Hold on.
I'll make sure I put it in the description of the video if anyone watches this after it's come down.
Okay.
Just while you're doing that, I'll just have a look at the chat and see if there's any questions in there. Oh, hang on. Right, here we go. How many flat earthers does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know, Platinum, but I'm looking forward for the answer.
1, but the light bulb has to want to be changed.
Yeah, the light bulb's got to wake up. If Flat Earth went away, what would you replace with in the videos? That's one from Bullwinkle. That's a good question. Astronomy. So you come away from the conspiracy side altogether and just do like educational.
Yeah, I'm not interested in 9/11 or Bigfoot or anything like that. That has no effect on me or the education of our young.
No, I like conspiracy theories, and I do like listening to them, and I'll listen to 9/11 stuff, and I'll listen to all sorts. I don't believe it, but I do like listening to it, but not enough to sort of maybe make videos and a lot of it. The water one was interesting. People not believing water was a liquid, but I think some of them
and not believing that water is made of H2O. That kills me.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think some just get a little bit distasteful. Like, I mean, I have got certain. I do not believe for 1 second 9/11 was, some kind of inside job or conspiracy. No. But I know that there are questions I can't answer that I'd like to know the answer to. But I wouldn't make videos on it because it's so fresh in the minds of people. It's, I mean, are you from New York yourself? Got that?
No. I live on the West Coast. Live in California. I've been to New York, but just passing through. I was a trucker for a while, and I dropped a load off in Brooklyn, and that's about the only time I've been in New York.
But yeah, stuff like that, where you're talking about like the Columbia disaster and things like that, where people have lost their lives and it's still fresh in the memory. You know, I don't like seeing all that.
Not everybody in America has been to New York. Just letting you know.
I remember when I was at school, we had a kid from America join our class, and I swear to God, one of the lads in my class said to him, he was called Michael. I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, "Michael, you from America?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah." And he said, "Wow." He says, "Do you know someone called Ben?" Probably not the Ben you mean. Right, yeah. Round 4.
Actually, that there's a phrase in the Army. It says it's a small world, but I'd hate to have to paint it.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Fort Rucker, Alabama, in a photo lab, the post photo lab, where we did like graduation photos and photos for promotions for officers and NCO. And a person came, was assigned to our lab, a female, and we're talking and stuff and asking where are you born, where are you from? And it turned out that she was born at the same time as me in the same hospital, and our mothers knew each other.
Wow.
So yeah, I may know Ben. You never know. So
his last name's Dover.
No. Is he any relation to Michael?
No. Okay. Ben Dover. No, it's not. Right.
No relation to the upstate cunts, or the upstate hunts.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
Okay.
Round 4. How are you feeling? You're doing really well so far.
I'm psyched. I'm ready.
Right. This time it's again. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to name as many vegetables as you can. All right. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to gather your thoughts, and then I'll say go. Okay. 20 seconds.
Now vegetables.
Oh, but any vegetables, yeah.
By vegetables, does that mean like just stuff that's not meat, or?
Well, you couldn't have fruit.
Okay. All right.
But yeah. So hang on. Yeah. So like groceries, do they mean different things in America? Like, do you have like a different definition?
No, I'm saying like. So no fruit, no berries, just vegetables.
Just actual vegetables.
Roughage and tubers.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Potatoes, artichoke, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, carrots, peas. God damn, this is hard. Lettuce, yams, sweet potatoes, peanuts. Fuck. God damn it.
And that's 20. That's 20 seconds. You did well. You did
well.
You got 9. Right. I'll give you the total score at the end, but whatever happens, you're gonna be the winning globe head. So
that's hard. Being under a clock is hard.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I could name you 50 right now. But I'm not being timed. That's
You did well. You did well. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat to answer. Right. Tony Williams says Eric Dubay, he's the biggest vegetable.
Now, one analogy I was thinking of that I like to think of with flat Earth is, especially with Danny Pratt, and this is the one thing that drew me to him, is his complete ignorance of the facts. I have given him links. I've given him articles, facts, everything on his channel, on his comments, and he deletes everything. And that's why I'm focused. That's why I focus on him, because he ignores the truth and then calls people cowards for not being able to provide proof. It's like there was a show. It was an American show. I can't remember if it was Fridays or it was some late night show, comedy show, skit show. And it was their special guests were Amit and Dweezil Zappa, Frank's kids. And the skit was, it was a big brick wall with a window at the top, just one window. And there was a guy in the window with a drum. And there was the other guy was on the bottom. I don't know if Dweezil or Amit, which one was which. But he was on the street screaming at the top of his lungs, "Where is my drum? Somebody give me my drum. I can't find my drum." And the guy up at the window is hitting the drum saying, "I've got your drum right here, you idiot." And "Where is my drum? It's right here. Look up. I have your drum. I can't find my drum." And that's Danny. He's the guy in the street saying, "Show me your proof. Show me your proof." And we're all up in the window going, "Dumbass, look up. It's right here. Quit deleting your comments."
Yeah. I think, and like they're all that way, aren't they?
Yeah.
How many times do they need telling the same thing over and over and over? And like I said, they just sat the man behind the curtain again. They just want to ignore it, don't they?
Yeah. It either kills their God or kills their bank account. One of the two. It's either religious or money.
Yeah. It's and that's it. That's a frustrating bit, because that's where really that's where I draw the line and say, well, I don't make the videos I make, and I'm sure you don't make the videos you make to convince people like Daniel Pratt or Nathan Oakley or Dell, whatever, that the Earth is a globe. I make them so people who are on the fence can see how ridiculous the idea is, and to stop people crossing that line. Because the people who have, they have to really want to know what the truth is, to then open themselves up and see that drum. You know what I mean? To hear that drum.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't, because they're trapped in that magical fantasy land. But those are on the borderline. Now, there is one person, and I'll not name him because he might not want being named, but somebody I spoke to a while ago who was interested in finding out the truth about the shape of the Earth, and they were making videos about, is the Earth flat, is it a globe? I had a chat with them on a hangout. I know they spoke to several other people, and then that person got back to me, and I'm not sure if they're still making videos. I'll have to check out. But that person got back to me a few weeks later and said, what a load of horseshit, that I now realize what flat Earth is, and there is no science. It is just an echo chamber of ignorance. But he really wanted to know, and that makes me think, well, yeah, people like that have benefited from the online presence on YouTube of people that do what yourself do and Dan do, and we all try and do. But the people who are already way past that line,
no, there's no reaching them.
No.
I've got my level of puppetry. Come up with levels of puppetry. You got the finger puppets. Those are the guys like you're talking about that are just on the fence. They aren't really controlled much. They aren't following the cues of the heavy hitters. Then you got the hand puppet, and they've got the hands shoved way up in there. And they're like the they're just a hand puppet. They still have a little bit of control. They're still investigating. And then you got like the full-on Muppet, which is like Delano TV and D Marbles or not D Marbles, like M Benz. And then you got the heavy hitters like D Marbles, Jaronism, Mark Sargent. They're the puppeteers.
Yeah.
And they're pulling the strings. So.
What exactly? Because it's those people who, the lower level ones, they parrot. I mean, I was on a debate with a nice guy, right? Really nice guy called Robin. I think he does the Lift in the Lid channel, and he was a lovely guy, really nice bloke. But I'd spoken to Anthony Riley the day before about something, and Anthony Riley had been trying to use the Rayleigh criterion to explain why things disappear from the bottom up. And he was asking me to prove that light refracts in the air, etc. And then the very next day, this Robin, who I know subscribes to Anthony, in the debate threw out exactly word for word the same arguments that Anthony Riley threw out. You must prove to me that light can refract in the air. You know, the Rayleigh criterion proves things disappear from the bottom up. And when I actually explained the Rayleigh criterion to him, and I think Mr. Private Survivor's on there as well, it was clear they didn't have a clue what they were talking about.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But, you know, and like you say, it's the people at the top, they'll say this stuff, and it's just parroted. Just parroted and parroted and parroted with literally zero understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pitiful. It's pathetic. It really is. It's like a kid. My original analogy is it's like a toddler kicking and screaming and at his parents trying to tell him that Santa's real.
Mm-hmm.
The parents know different.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But right, what I want to do, because I don't want these to go on, I want to keep these to about an hour, these videos. I'm thinking if the chat, because maybe if we give people in the chat chance to just ask anything. So to ask you literally anything, and we'll give 5 minutes for questions for anybody, and we'll see what they can pose to you, what you think. But while those questions are coming through, if the questions come through, you know, is there anything you want to say? We've talked about your GoFundMe campaign. If you want to talk about that a little bit more, what else have you got going on? You know, we've not really touched on your live streams because you do an awful lot of live streams, and if I lived in your time zone, I'd watch them a lot more. Unfortunately, a lot of them when I'm asleep, but I really enjoy those. So just you know, just give your channel a plug and let us know, because honestly, you are to me one of the most criminally understood. When I watch a lot of hangouts, you know, with that have hundreds of people watching, I think, well, I'd rather be watching Shawn's hangout. You are criminally undersubscribed. So anyone who's watching, if you put your link in the channel again, link in the chat. But let us know what you're up to. What is it you want to talk about?
That's it. Yeah, I just have the shitty little the shittiest underrated channel on YouTube. It's nothing special, you know, no big production values. I do want to get I eventually want to get a camera, you know, get a better camera for the laptop and start doing them there. But yeah, I don't like liars. Can't stand them. One of the things that's really bolstered my channel is Marilyn's Spirit Level, I think is her name. She's trying to get this stuff pushed into the school systems where she is. I mean, she's like really making a play for like First Amendment and all this, trying to get the school systems to teach this to kids, and that won't pass. Can't. I mean, we can't, and we can't have negative first century science being taught to kids who are trying to work out stuff. So
yeah.
And I get a feed of the different stuff going on. Usually Danny posts something about 8 a.m. or 7 or 4 or whenever he's up. And if it's worth it, I do something on it. If it's not, once in a while I do like a live feed like this where I just talk about stuff I think to talk of. I've done a couple of videos with actual physical models. One is of the angles to Polaris, and the other is the circular star trails. That one doesn't get a lot of play. What I did was took a light bar, you know, the LED light strips, made a light bar out of that with a battery, and I put it on a yarn winder where I could spin it, which represented the spinning stars, or were stationary. And then I photographed it from different angles, representing the angles of latitude off center on the flat Earth. And what I saw was, and then I took the camera and put that in the on the winder, on the spinner, and I put the light bar against the wall, and I spun the camera from different angles, looking at the light bar from different angles. So there was no presupposition of the globe. There was no presupposition of flat Earth. There was just testing two environments. And what I found was, what the video showed was, that when you look off center, when you're somewhere other than the North Pole on a flat Earth, the star trails start getting oval, because a circle at an angle is an oval. But when the camera is spinning, it doesn't matter where the camera is, because the stars we see in the sky are stationary in, in reference to us, and we spin under them. So we see a circle no matter where we are on the Earth.
Right, I'm going to link that in the description. Once we're done here and this is processed, if you send us that video, the link to that particular video, I'll link it in the description of this chat.
All right, let me I can find it here pretty quick. I've been meaning to like thin my channel out a lot. There's just a lot of garbage in there. So let me,
while you're finding that, I'll just see what questions there are in the chat. Oh, Mr. Cheswick, how are you doing, Mr. Cheswick?
Mr. Cheswick.
I do like some of his songs, I've got to be honest. Turquoise Laura, right, so let's have a look at some questions. What's the big obsession with spinning? I don't think we've got an obsession with spinning, have we? I think just that's what the observations tell us, aren't they?
It's the difference between us and flat Earth. We spin, flat Earth doesn't.
What else have we got? Questions. What's with this connection between flat Earth, blood over intent, sovereign citizens, and piss drinking? What's blood over intent? I've not heard that phrase before.
That's where you sign. Basically, I mean, basically that's like a pact with, like it's a blood pact where you write out what you intend to do, like in flat Earth or whatever. I don't know what circles it's in. I don't know what cult it's for, but then you basically cut yourself and stamp your. I mean, it's like a blood pact. Yeah.
I'm not getting a great deal of questions. Leave it another minute. But what I'll do while the questions are coming through, I'll let you know how you've got on in your quiz. So we know what other people have got to be. Oh, and then we'll just, and that's what we were talking about off air about the potential hangout for next week. That'll be
Cool.
if we get that done. Right. So round 1, you got 8 out of 10. In the round 2, 3, and 4, you scored 9 out of 10. So that is 9 plus 9, 27, 35. You've scored 35. So that's not bad.
Cool.
That definitely puts you top of the leaderboard.
Oh, there's a guy named Clearly Flat Earth.
Oh, Cleary, God, he's a tool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 100 meter. That's the 100-foot tube guy. Yeah,
right, yeah.
He bet me. He made a wager with me that I couldn't make a 100-foot long tube, 2-inch by 2-inch square, 100-foot long, that you can see light through. He doesn't believe that you can see light after 100 feet through a tube. And he said $929. I'll bet you can't do it. And yeah, it turned out that he was nothing but a welcher that was just trying to get me to spend my money on a useless experiment. Because later, and he kept pushing, he kept pressing me on it. So basically, yeah, he welched on a bet. Because later he said, yeah, flat Earth dollars. So, yeah, you're a scumbag, Clearly Flat Earth.
He's yeah, he's not. I remember once being on his channel.
He's that chubby guy that can't really grow a beard, right?
Yeah, I remember he did a video about he was talking about the sun, and he'd filmed the sun and said the sun doesn't change its angular size over a day. Or sorry, the sun does change its angular size over the day, but he'd not use a solar filter. And I remember saying, well, you know, really you should use a solar filter if you're going to prove it, because all you're looking at then is the glare, you know, basic 101. And I remember just in the comments, just complete denial. No, you don't need a solar filter. You don't need a solar filter. Well, he's obviously not being honest about wanting to know the truth, is he?
I'll be
Question,
right back. Hold on.
no problem. While Sean's gone, there's a question here from Keith Milner. What do we think about people like Dave Murphy getting into school to talk to kids? I'll be honest. When I started in Flat Earth, I was asked by a kid that I taught who said, "Sir, I've just seen a video. It's one of Dell's videos, the one where he sprayed the water on the football." And they said, "Is the Earth flat?" And what I thought I'd do.
Hold on. Well, clearly flat Earth. I'm not scared to do it. If you put $929 into an account like an escrow, where it's being held by somebody that I'm guaranteed to get paid if I do it, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But until that happens, you're not going to make me spend my money on foam board to laugh at me. You understand me? All right, sorry.
No, you're right. Cleary, I don't think Cleary has got any substance, has he, with anything he said?
That's what you need. Here's my high-tech science.
And I don't understand his objection to it. Like, why would you not just say, all right, I'll use a solar filter?
It's a can with a sheet of Bader solar film on it. That's all you need. $5.
Yeah. But it suits the narrative not to have one, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep. It's fudge. That's their favorite food.
But yeah, going back to that question about people going into schools. When I was teaching full time, I used it. I didn't mind having that dialogue with the kids about flat Earth because I trusted them to make the decisions for themselves, and I knew that they will come to the right decision. You know, I had it wasn't even a debate with Anthony Riley because I told him the questions, or he told me the questions he was going to ask me, and I said I wouldn't even debate him. I'd just give him an answer and I'd give him the last word. And then I took that debate, we took it to the kids and we analysed everything he said that was ridiculous, everything he said that was stupid. And the kids didn't sit there and say, oh, you know, he says the Earth is flat, so therefore it's flat. The kids sat there and even the 11, 12-year-old kids I was teaching, they used it as an exercise to apply their limited science to debunk him. And we did that in the classroom. So although I don't agree with that, I don't want to promote it. I don't think it's as harmful as I don't think it's as harmful as it might at first appear.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that irritates me is when a flat earther says, well, just teach it to the kids. They're smart enough. They can know the difference. It's like, no, man, that's why no, sorry.
That's it. I mean, let's see if there's any more questions.
No, clearly flat earth or whatever your fucking name is. No, I'm not afraid to do it. I know for a fact that it can be done. I'm not going to spend $20 of my own money just so you can tell your fans that I got him to spend his money. No, you put the money in somebody's account. You have it held for me after I complete it, and I'll do your thing. And ask any machinist, ask anybody in construction if that can be done, and then piss off. I mean, it's just the fucking cheap.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of flat earthers in. I'm not going to kick any of them because you all seem to be behaving themselves.
This is cathartic to me. This is therapeutic. I mean, doing what I do is therapeutic. That's another reason why I do it. It keeps me from being one of the guys out on the street corner screaming at the air.
Right, let's see can you see any questions we've got there? Not getting a whole load. Mr. Cheswick wants me to dance with my whiteboard. You've still not made me that song yet. I want the whole song to myself, Mr. Cheswick, before I do that.
I think Mr. Cheswick, if you ask Craig, he'd probably let you blow him.
Oh my word. Right. Well, I don't know where else to go. We've done an hour, and I want to keep these fairly short, so I can do like an hour each time with somebody. Shawn, you honestly, like, and I've said this to you off air, when I started, I remember you as commenting on the very first video I did, and you're still about now, and I think there was you and Dan, Simon, Dan, the only two that I remember from the very there's loads I remember from like the third or fourth, and but I think the only one I remember from the very first video. So I want to thank you for being around from the very beginning. For me, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would urge everybody to go over to Shawn's channel. Have you linked it in the description, Shawn? Have you put it in?
Yeah, a couple of times. I can do it again.
Yeah, whack it in one more time. And before we go, I would urge everybody to go over to Shawn's channel and give him a subscription. I will put it in the description of this video once it's processed. But it's been great. It's been a good way for me to spend an early Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening even. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. This is the first time I've ever been interviewed by anybody, so it's weird for me.
You had a cracking idea for a hangout next week, though, didn't you? Do you want to mention what that was? Or
yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are being misunderstood in the flat Earth community, and there's some things that are just too above my level to explain, like for instance, Danny Pratt's 1,000-mile-an-hour ball spinning, his rim velocity. I really don't understand why we don't go 1,000 miles an hour. I mean, I understand why we don't feel it because of inertia and because the atmosphere moves with us. But why is 1,000 miles not 1,000 miles an hour? Why is angular velocity different from distance traveled at the equator? And I know there's a better way to put it than I am. And like drop and hidden height, on the curve calculator, things like that, just things that are being misrepresented or misunderstood. And it'll help both communities. It'll help dispel a lot of myth and a lot of misunderstanding that's going on. And it'll help people like me who aren't. See, I've never been to school. I've never been to college. I graduated high school, went right into the Army after that, but I've never had any like higher book learning. So I don't have the trained background to be able to answer questions like that. So I rely on people that know the answers, and then I research it and confirm my own beliefs based on that and the science. So I just don't know the science behind it to help. So I think it'd help people like me, and it'd help the flat Earth to be able to talk about it, explain things in terms that I can understand. So,
well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite all the YouTube Globers that I know. Obviously, yourself. This is your idea. It's your hangout, so you can decide what channel we do it on. But anybody who's interested. So I mean, anyone who's listening now, or anyone who's on the Twitter group with me, if maybe over the next week we pick out 15 or so of these questions that can be confusing. Why do we not feel 1,000 mile an hour, etc. Or any questions flat earthers might want to post here now. And then if we collect them, and then next week we just explain it away, we answer it. And then anyone who's on the fence and doesn't know, why we shouldn't feel that 1,000 mile an hour, or doesn't know the difference between angular velocity and velocity, we can just deal with them. We can call it maybe flat earth big questions or something like that, and just deal with them all in one hangout, just in a sensible way. And then anyone who's confused, who's on the fence,
we can answer the question directly.
No silliness, no Mickey taking. Just here's the question that people find confusing. Here's your answer. Done.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So I'll definitely ask a few people if they're interested for that for next Sunday, and if you're available.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be good on the non-sex show. I mean, they're set up to do it. So.
Well, I'll email or tweet them.
And I've never been on that show before. I've been wanting to be on one of the panels, but I never get invited. So I think it'd be a good way to muscle my way in.
Right. Well, I'll keep in touch with you with it, and I'll say goodbye to you off air. I'll just check for any last minute questions, and then I'll.
Okay.
Right. No real questions. Right. So if anybody wants to be part of that hangout next week, just send me an email at conspiracycatsmail@gmail.com, and then I'll try and group it all in. But one last time, Shawn, thank you very, very much for doing this. Honestly, I really enjoy watching your streams. I'd urge everyone to go and give you a subscribe, check out your GoFundMe as well. I really am a big fan of what you do. So thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're like 1/5 of the way to the goal. So we're almost halfway there or whatever. I have one question for the flat earthers. Why does, as my parting thing, why does water seek its own level? If you have water, a bowl of water, and you push that water up, right? Like with a cup, if you put a cup under the water and pull that cup up and then pull it out of the water, what makes that water not retain that shape? Because there's nothing under the water that is less dense than the surface of that water, right? There's nothing under here. There's no air under there. So why does it want to go flat? Because there's no conflict in buoyancy to make it go flat. There's no equilibrium between the buoyancy in the air to make it go flat. You follow me?
So I wouldn't expect an answer, but it's a great question. Why does water take its own level? I mean, if you've asked that, I'm going to throw this question out there as well before we finish. If I take, this remote control, for example, and I let go of it, it's going to fall. And a flat earther would say, well, that's due to density, which is fine. All right, that's fine. But the density of the air around this remote control is literally the same in all directions. So why does it fall downwards? I've asked this to Anthony Riley, and he says, well, it just is. It's just a density gradient towards the center of the Earth. Well, this isn't sentient. This doesn't know that the center of the Earth is down there. All it experiences is an equal density of air all the way around it. And if anything, when we get high up that way, the air is less dense up there than it is on the floor. So why doesn't it fly up? And we will never get an answer to those questions.
Right. And like a helium balloon, the air around the balloon doesn't know what's inside that rubber that's heavier than the air. It doesn't know to make that go up.
No.
So all it knows, all the air around it knows is the rubber, which is a more dense thing than the air that it's in. Yeah. They just don't have answers.
Well, that's it. I think that's why the tone of my stuff has changed. The Baldy Cat stuff I like to keep more mature and like scientific and stuff, or at least scientific and explanations. But the tone of the Conspiracy Cats has definitely changed because I'm sick and tired of not getting any answers for any question that's asked. And the only thing I've got left now is literally to laugh at the fact that you just get nothing back. Nothing.
Well, I think a flat earth test, a flat earth science test would be a quiz, would be the easiest thing in the world, because every answer is bendy water, is show me bendy water.
Yeah.
Any question you ask them, their answer is show me bendy water.
Well, they are doing one. The guy called Dr. John emailed me, and did you get an email from him?
No.
He emailed me. I know he emailed a couple of the others, and he's emailed a lot of flat earthers, and he's organising an event in probably because you're not in England, that's why, down on the south coast, and it's like a 7-hour drive for me, so I'm not going. But essentially, he's going to do like a laser test, and he's going to prove the curve of the Earth. I think he thinks he's going to prove flat Earth, but I think that happens in the next week or two. But he's organising this massive meetup. I think they're going to stream it live. I think there's loads and loads of flat Earth YouTubers going. So that's going to be really interesting. Will they be honest about the results they get? Or will they get results that prove the globe and then come up with a new load of guff to explain it away. I'm going to be interested in that.
Atmospheric lensing and refraction. See, they use refraction when it helps prove their point, but they hate refraction when it proves them wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right. I'm going to call this. Let's just see if there's anything else. Right. I'm going to call this to a close. But honestly, thank you again. Thank you for everybody. It's my first actual live stream. So, and I've really enjoyed it. It's just been nice and chilled. A couple of beers.
I have too.
Nice chat this afternoon. I'll get some work done now, then I'll hit the sack for tomorrow. I've really enjoyed it. So thank you very much.
Right. And a wing proves that high pressure and low pressure can exist without a container.
Oh, it does. And the atmosphere itself, you know, high pressure up there, low pressure down here.
Anyway.
You know, but again, we'll never get a response to that.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Shawn. I'll stop the broadcast. I'll say goodbye to you off air. Everyone else, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.